Buenos dias.
Aloha.
Bonjour.
Guten Tag.
Okay.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
¿Qué onda?
Okay, oh, you want to play that game? So, what did I say? Is Japanese Ohio gozaimasu? Or is that goodbye? I don't remember. We'll
I
just
don't
assume
know.
it's right.
Akuna Matata. I quit.
That
Hey,
means no
Gamblor.
worries
Hey,
for the rest of
Gamblor.
your days.
Whoop, whoop. Hello, hello. Here for the first 20 minutes, I got to run. Yeah, it's a federal holiday. Um, it's more than a
Not
federal
for.
holiday. It's a national holiday here in Los Estados Unidos. So
Wait, what? It's not a
it's an,
holiday anymore.
oh,
Or is it another
I'm still
culture?
thinking it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is
I
yesterday.
mean,
Although they don't really, I don't think they really celebrate that in Switzerland.
outside of
Uh,
retail, like okay, for white collar jobs, it's still a holiday. For for everybody else, they're working. How about that?
Thanksgiving, I think most retailers now have backed off on their Thanksgiving stuff. I think,
No,
although I
everything
don't
was
think,
closed. I I
yeah,
tried to fill a prescription yesterday and I couldn't. Grocery
yeah,
stores were closed yesterday, at least at like 2 p.m. yesterday. No, before that, it was like 11 or 12 p.m. or 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. yesterday. I couldn't find a grocery store to to go to fill my prescription. Everything was closed.
hmm huh.
Really? In Switzerland, they clone Black Friday. United States amazes me how they dominate the entire world in regards to being what's the word I'm looking for? Impersonated.
Well, yeah,
I mean, in Canada, they have Black Friday sales, and they're like Thanksgiving's like a month before ours. I just find it interesting. I wonder what Native Americans think about Thanksgiving. I
I don't know, man.
think I know. They'll get canceled, all 100 of them. Not really a thing yet. Got it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Black Friday's kind of dying out in the states, anyways.
I think retail is slowly but surely coming to an end if if the police or if law enforcement doesn't start strongly enforcing that they're not playing around with mobilized shoplifting.
Is that a thing? Because it's not here, but I know it was in California for a while. But
Um, is your town predominantly white?
yes, predominantly.
Okay. So I think in within the perimeter of major cities, I don't think it's happening in Miami, but it seems to be like really in California that you have these mobs that are just going inside retail establishments and just grabbing everything and walking out. I feel like California is a weird state. I, I don't know anybody that wants to move to California. But anyway,
I guess the
yeah.
weather's nice.
So what's the consequence of that? Well, I would think that retail prices would go up, but I think that would just be retail prices for brick and mortar, which means that it would be to the advantage of Amazon and other online stores for them to just dominate because they don't have to pay that premium in order to be profitable due to there's no E that I'm aware of, no no e like mobilized shoplifting.
Hmm. Well, I mean, there's fraud. Fraud's hard to detect and root
There's
out, but
there's fraud, but I still that still requires some form of, I think, higher intelligence to carry it out, let alone not get caught. These
yeah,
people
it's
are
a long
just
game.
these people are just going into stores with their face masks, like 10 of them or more, and they're just grabbing stuff,
Yeah,
walking out, and then selling it online.
yeah. So what happens is then the businesses will get insurance payouts, and it depends on how bad the insurance payouts have to be, like before it'd actually start to become a cost setting for. Because there's always been a like a number of those times where we've had when I used to work at Walmart back in the day, they'd pick up TVs and run out with them. I mean, it happens, but that's why you're insured and you just put a claim in.
Yeah, but when the frequency increases so much that it increases more than 100% consistently month to month. Well, not to say that every month it goes up another 100%, but when it increases so much and it doesn't look like it's trending downward, then prices are going to be raised in the brick and mortar.
Yeah,
I don't think prices are going to be raised for e-stores or whatever you
but
want to
the
call it.
it's basically localized to that spot though, or those hot zones. So they might shut those stores down, and then the people in that area just don't won't have that option anymore.
I don't think so. Wouldn't that disrupt the whole like matching price guarantee?
Hmm?
You think Target would raise prices in California for the iPhone and then have a lower price in
Oh
every other city?
no,
No.
I'm saying they'd either shut the Target down
Oh,
or they'd
okay.
raise the prices at that Target.
No, I don't think. I think they would probably run into legal issues if they raise the price.
No, no, actually, you can always charge more for things. Um,
Okay.
it's manufactured well, so you can have manufacturer's suggested retail price, which is a suggestion. You can always charge more, and then there's MAP, which is like the minimum advertised price, which is sometimes why you'll see like carts that are like you can't see the price of this until we put it in the cart. It's like why? Because it's the minimum advertised price, but still that's a minimum. It's not a maximum. Um, Unless there are retailers out there, or product lines that say no, we're not going to allow you to price over a certain amount because of gouging or whatever, then it just becomes they can just not sell those product lines that aren't willing to play. So it's a
I've been.
multivariate situation, variable situation.
I haven't been able to do any cardio because I strained my back last Saturday. I did my upper body for the first time yesterday.
Hmm.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to bicycle probably until like maybe Monday. I could start bicycling again. But you know what's interesting is I bought like two, three pairs of pants like maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and they don't fit me anymore. So I had to buy the same pants, just 2 inches lower in waist or smaller in waist.
Hmm.
What do you
Well,
do
that's a
with
good
clothes that
sign.
you don't fit anymore? You haven't had that problem.
Oh no, I've had that problem. You save them because then
Do you-
eventually you'll
yeah,
swing back around.
I was like, do I just drop it off at Goodwill or do I just shelve it in case like I get hospitalized and I just start gaining weight again? Like I don't know.
Yeah, I think it depends on if you have the room to spare, and then if you don't change your styles too often, or if you have like you wouldn't wear these pants in 6 months anyways, or whatever. But assuming if those aren't the case, then I don't know why you wouldn't just save them, and then wait. And then if you really know after a couple of years, like oh this is permanent, I'm never gonna go back up. Maybe you drop them off at Goodwill or one of the other things, or you can resell them too if they're nice clothes.
Who resells clothes?
People do all over here. They just go on a Facebook marketplace and say, "Hey, I've got this, I'll meet you in the parking lot of Walgreens. We can exchange it. But usually people only get pulled out for real good bargains.
Well, based on my size, like 36, 38 pants. Who is going to buy that?
So I'm about 2 inches off, so I've done 36, 32s for forever. I don't know. I don't know who would buy that. Maybe you would have to. You could always hem the bottoms. Well, are they nice jeans like Levi's or something? Or
Yeah,
are they
they're
like?
brand new. Well, I mean, Wrangler is
I
people know
think
about Wrangler.
Wranglers. Yeah, they've done some advertising. Yeah, I know what I actually like about Wrangler jeans versus Levi's. They have an extra hook
I
around the
was going
belt.
to say something.
They have an extra hook on the belt line, which makes it so that like you don't have those like I don't even know what they're, the hoops.
Did
Like
you know
doing
what I was
extra.
thinking in my mind when you
No.
said, you know what I like about Wrangler jeans instead of Levi's? I thought it was going to be a Jewish joke.
Oh. No,
Get
no,
canceled.
no.
That would have been funny.
But yeah, no.
My last name is Jewish. I just don't have the motivation to research why I have that last name.
Hmm.
Okay, let me change that. When I Facebook my last name, most of the hits were in Israel, hence Israelis. So
Wonder if you can just search for.
my Facebook should be deactivated now.
Why'd you kill Facebook?
It's a long story.
Uh,
I'll tell you offline.
yeah, Nimrod is definitely a white European descent name, according to like some of these surname thingies. It's North American. Oh, it's also a biblical figure apparently.
Yeah, Tower of Babel.
The son of Cush, and therefore the great son of Noah. Construction of the Tower of Babel.
You think the people that wrote the Bible knew that it was going to be like the bestseller for multiple civilizations?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I'm sure each author, like they wrote a book, they didn't know that it was going to make the compilation called the Bible, or did they?
I don't know. Maybe they thought they'd be the next great science fiction writer, and
Hey, Apostle Paul, you
people didn't
misogynist.
understand it.
Hey, we understand that we understand your views about women and how you don't think that they should take the lead in the congregation. But you know what? Your book is going to make the Bible. Yep, 3,500 years later. I have issues with Apostle Paul.
Not Peter, though, huh?
Nah, Peter's cool. But Judah's a hater.
Yeah, somebody had to play the part.
What is it? Judas Iscariot? I don't know.
I mean, what if the thing is weird about that? You sit back and think about it. It's like, what if there wasn't a Judas? Like, none of that happened. There's nothing so tragic. Like, why does there have to be a Judas in that story? Or is Judas playing this like really?
why is it relevant?
Well, I'm just wondering because
No, no,
it's
no.
like
I'm saying
Judas.
why is that part of the story relevant? Is that what
Yeah.
you're also saying?
Why is it relevant? I know it's because he like got tempted away or whatever, but it's also like without that temptation, none of the salvation for everyone comes of play. So it's like he's like a Judas is kind of like this great, plot twist. Like we don't know his backstory. Like why did he become, so gold heavy and or desired. I don't know. But if he didn't, then he wouldn't have gotten all this the, like salvation and stuff going on. So really, Judas is the hero of the story.
Do you think Jesus was literally like conceived by God, or do you think Jesus was just an incredible human being that just gained a cult following?
Uh, Probably the latter. I don't.
Well, I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Most people have a hard time saying that.
well, I don't. I don't think so. It's I mean, they still leave the door open for like the simulation doing funky things with us, but I'm pretty sure like my leading thought is sim. I don't know what's beyond that though, because sim is just a first layer problem. Like
Do you really
we
believe
could
that
talk about
simulation
that.
theory?
I think it's just the way that the world is constructed and the physical nature of it and quantum mechanics and stuff like that. It just I don't know. It feels so coincidence also, and I don't know. It just feels
Okay, you said it, so I have to ask: what does quantum mechanics have to do with simulation theory?
or yeah, the quantum theory, quantum stuff. So particles are only like see, so you know how like quantum stuff, it's like stuff
Yeah,
passes in waves unless you're observing it, and then it will behave the way you expect. It's that
yeah,
observation.
which is still
It's that observation bit. It's that
it's still the
it's
most illogical thing that I kind of don't accept, but apparently it's been proven in labs, which still doesn't make sense to me because that requires consciousness to for a state for something to change of state. It has to be aware that you're observing. That's the part that I have a disconnect.
yeah. Well, and the thing is with that is like in video game design or in something where it is immersive simulation. Like you call things, you don't render things unless they need to be observed. That's just the way it is. That this paradigm exists in that virtual space. Like why render the thing behind the wall?
See a gambler who stated just wait for Jesus Cinematic Universe, soon coming to Jesus Plus with Judas Path, a brand new TV series, only $6.90 a month. Subscribe now to Jesus Plus. And I bet you there probably I mean, isn't there already a Christian channel on cable? There has to be.
And yeah, I'm guessing there is.
Yeah. All right, well, we knocked off religion. Let's talk about war.
War,
Let's talk politics.
man, I don't know. I don't talk politics enough anymore. It's just too explosive. It's not fun anymore. People are so angry. Maybe not you, but other people are.
I got shadow banned on Twitter, and I'm not sure if it was because of
I don't know.
misogynist views or because I was accused of being anti-Semitic. I don't know which one got me banned.
Anti-Semitic. You went full Kanye. You never go full Kanye.
I didn't go full Kanye.
I'm just kidding, man.
I just post a lot of like Al Jazeera um, articles about Palestinians being gunned down by Israeli military, and apparently people don't like when I post that.
Yeah,
You say yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I don't really have much to say about that conflict.
Oh,
It's a crappy situation all around. I think the only people that are going to stop it are the Israelis and Palestinians themselves. They have
no,
to
I
come
think
to
the only
some
people who are
sort of
going to
shared.
stop it are the Israelis after the Palestinians are pretty much no longer. Like it's not going to stop. What? We have 8 billion people on this. Is it 7 billion or 8? It's 8 billion, right?
Yeah, it keeps going up. Yeah,
Yeah, like stuff isn't going to magically stop. People, let's. I don't care. When people believe that they're the chosen ones, they're not going to stop.
yeah, yeah,
You can't disagree with. They believe that they're the chosen ones, so they're not going to stop.
yeah. Well, I mean, eventually, something changes.
Okay. All right. New subject.
Oh, I decided I'm going to try using F# for Advent of code this year. So I think I'll actually learn something, but I'm going to struggle through it, I suppose.
What else is there? I mean, I think you, I think you understand like the interface,
I understand like the paradigms and some
the
of the
high
stuff.
level
Yeah.
usage for it, which is still general purpose, but just a different way of thinking about how you perform general purpose. Do you have anything? Do you have any insecurities about what you may spin your wheels on?
Mostly just syntax things, or it'll be things like I know I should be that in C# I would do this, but I don't know what the correct way to do it here is, other than just
It's
try to follow the same paradigm, because I know it's functional first, but you can do object oriented and stuff.
yeah. If I could guess, or what I spent my where I spun my wheels at was I struggle with a sync await in F sharp.
Hmm.
You can view you can view my repo, or I mean you don't even have to go to my repo, but my repo is filled with examples of a business application that relies on computation expressions, amongst other things.
So so here's the things I'm thinking about. It's like first is like what is the most commonly used data structure? So in C# you create a class. That's what you do. You create records in F#. What do you like? Is it a struct? What are
Or
you generally creating?
generally, if we're talking about just business logic and we're not talking about UI, then it's a record.
Okay, so you need a bucket of data. It's a record, which is could be a struct or whatever, and then just whether it's pointed to that or not. So, and then the question from there are things like how do I just do uh, stuff like console writing and that kind of stuff. It's just
It's
the
still .NET.
basics, reading files, the
It's
syntax and all that for those types of things. And then the last one is just like the link operations that I would use in C# and what are their equivalencies and how do you do filter map reduce
so
stuff.
so you could still use link syntax in F sharp. It would just question
But do you?
why that's not idiomatic F sharp.
Yeah,
And
well, that's
so
what I want to know is the
yeah,
idiomatic ways to do it.
so here so
Filter map reduce features.
exactly, you read my mind. So the C sharp, I think you already know that, or do you?
Yeah. Select
It's
some map and then where's the filter and aggregates the
yeah. So you already, I mean,
reduce. Yeah.
you know it. You
Yeah, I
just
know those. I just want to know the idiomatic F# ways. Is it do you still
you
try
just
to
said it. It's filter map reduce.
Yeah, okay, so there's a map function, a filter function, and a reduce function.
Well, I don't really use the actual reduce function. I use filter map and fold. But fold, I think, is a flavor of reduce.
Okay. Yeah, see, I need to know. It's mostly just gaining knowledge of what are those actual things I need to call, which means I'll just have to do a lot of Googling. But beyond that, I don't know.
So here's
Understanding
something
some of the
else.
pattern matching, maybe.
Well, yeah. You don't already use the newer features in C sharp for your switch statements having pattern matching?
I've started to, yeah, but
Yeah.
still haven't fully like
The the other part is,
grokked it.
have you practiced passing actions or
Oh
funcs
yeah, I do that
in
all
your
the time.
method signatures?
Yeah, I do that all the time. Actually, I just wrote a big method on Wednesday. Work
I
one
know
night.
your coworkers like WTF. Why did you do this? I don't understand.
Well, no, I mean it's like you have I mean, you're passing in functions, right? It's another way. Delegates are just another way to abstract things, so you don't have to create interfaces and then build a class and put all that crap behind an interface.
It's just not a mainstream practice, right? People
Yeah,
pass interfaces and then they invoke a property on or a method on that interface. They don't pass actions or funcs or delegates.
yeah. So you
Um,
can pass the getter for something or pass in an action that needs to be performed, and Yeah, no, I did that. I do that all the time.
I performed a demo earlier this week in which I was passive aggressively praising myself as I would show screenshots of different tests. And I feel like I'm the only person that writes automated tests, especially integration tests, in less than like 10 lines. And they're documented with setup, test, verify, and tear down. Almost every shop that I've been to, they just have like 30-line plus methods. They don't segregate the sections of the test. And I was passively aggressively trying to show by example how I think things should be readable or viewable.
Yeah, I've always wanted to get tests to be to the point where it's just where you can write them like documentation, and but I don't know. I've never looked up the like Gherkin, um, Cucumber plugins and stuff like that for .NET.
Post Sharp,
Yeah, but like it's like I want to write a
not Post
document.
Sharp. What is it? SpecFlow. SpecFlow.
I'd like to write like a document and then have it automatically go out and test things. But I don't like writing. I don't like the thought of writing tests as code, like function names and stuff. Give us just a pointer to a thing that has real, you know, like test ID 546, and then from there I could write documentation about what it actually is trying to do, because it just, I know the code should kind of be self-documented, but I don't really want to read tests like to understand what they're actually trying to do. I don't know. It's my mind's operating slow this morning. Sorry.
I hate when people try to make the 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 data structures of a value relevant, and I'm like, I do not care that this value is of this class. Why are you showing me this declaration? I don't care. Like, why don't you just say var and policy equals new policy with whatever arguments? Why do I have to know that it's a XYZ widget 2.0 policy with like how's that relevant for me? Because it helps you understand what's really being used behind the scenes. I don't care about the computer behind the scenes. I care about the business policy. Like, I don't need to see this noise. I
Yeah.
have yet to win that argument.
So you're, maybe you need to dive into that a little deeper. So you're saying they
I,
test that the policy is set, or
I don't care about the underlying data structure that we declare as a class. I don't care about the name of the class. I care about what it represents to the business, right? So, for example, I'll see them instead of using var, I'll see them, saying the, whatever my class, my class equals new, whatever my class, and I'm like, I mean, it's a minor example, but it's like,
yeah, that's,
why is this important? Like, or
well, what's the
it,
alternative?
or I'll see something that you already disagreed with me on is an interface that uh, a interface that exposes a find method that relies on an integer. And I'm like, that drives me crazy. We've already discussed this and we both tapped out. The whole point of an interface is to abstract away those details. Why are you forcing an integer to be the identity, right? And I have yet to win that battle with the developers that write interfaces, but but expose the implementation details of SQL Server.
Well, yeah, I guess it depends on whether the ID is a business domain term or not, whether it has meaning to them or not.
Well, because like my unit tests, they shouldn't care if it's an integer. If I want to have a unit test in which I am literally, when I'm looking at the data tip of that value, if it's better for me to have string values instead of numbers or GUIDs because it's more helpful for me to quickly understand if that data is right or not, like that's helpful to me. But when you start forcing GUIDs or integers and I'm in this complex data structure, like that's not as helpful. And you're forcing me to use an interface that has data structures that just aren't helpful to me. And so like use generics instead. Like public ID or public find within angle brackets ID and then within parentheses ID and then lowercase ID. And then my test is happy because I can plug in whatever data structures I want to perform a unit test fine. And then if we tend to use SQL Server, that's fine. If we tend to use SQLite, that's fine as well. SQLite relies on strings, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
it won't use integers for identity. SQLite won't. So it's an interface. Sorry, it just annoys me.
Yeah. Hmm. I guess it depends on what kind of interface it is and why the reason why the interface exists. If you're creating like a generic repo type class, then or like a repository where it's supposed to implement like the behavior of like some thing, then and the keys could be variable, then yeah, I guess I could see the point.
Yeah, but my
If it's
argument is interface is the interface is the interface. It's an abstraction is the abstraction is the
well, unless
abstraction.
it's supposed to model something that's real, then it depends on whether the
It,
ID is real or not. And
it doesn't. It's an interface.
yeah, well, no, because I mean, if you're passing in an ID for something, right, and that's like a business ID, like a term, a number that they actually use, it's kind of part of your domain. To label it as something like that could be a string would be giving too much power to it. Like if it's modeled, like if the abstractions match up, that's what I'm saying. Because if the abstractions don't match, if it's a generic in the true sense of a generic, then you're right. But hmm.
I think there's more advantages, and I honestly don't think it's
Why
that
wouldn't you
much
just
effort
generically type everything then?
because
Every parameter on this thing is generically typed.
things get really messy and it has diminishing returns based on the programming languages that we're using today.
But why call out the ID, which is just one other data point?
Why am I calling out the ID, which is because when I'm writing a unit test, it's it's a nuisance for me to be restricted or constrained to using a number that has no meaning for how I compare two values.
So I mean, but what you're saying though is that
That's one example. The other example is when you have different platforms that you're deploying to, one platform and the ecosystem that it's attached to may not support the data structure that you're trying to force down my throat, and you're exposing it as an interface.
so it
Like,
does. It depends on whether that ID is a purely an implementation detail of the database or if it actually is a business ID. Because if it is like a business ID, then I don't see your point at all. Like if this is the ID that we're going to refer to people as, the number we're going to refer to some entity as, like, and it exists and it's visible to the user and it's referenceable by other systems and stuff like that.
but 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 what unique identifier that is keyed in the database is visible to the user? And would that usually be a conversation about security?
Like an order number, for instance, an order number is a unique identifier for an order.
Yeah, but is
You
that a unique identifier stored in the database as a
yeah,
key, as a primary key?
no, but it might be a secondary key.
It could, okay.
Yeah, and then you could never use the primary key. So then the primary key becomes a implementation detail of the database to maintain references between items within it. But if your data structure comes in as an order number and it's, let's say, a string, like then your data type should be a string. But if your order number is a pure number and it has to be a number, then it should be an integer, right? So I think you're right, except if you're trying to model if that integer represents the actual domain, some sort of domain thing. But if it is an implementation detail of the database, then yeah, I can see your point.
Back in the day, when I was in college, uh, you would have to like put in your social security number as your like login. Yeah, when I was
Yeah,
in college, you would provide your social security number as a login,
kids these days
and
will never know that pain.
and that changed.
Yeah,
I wonder if that disrupted the when the security mandate came to stop doing that. I wonder how much disruption that caused the business in regards to the systems needing to be updated.
colleges, you mean?
When I was in college, yeah.
Yeah, man. Depends probably if they're private or public. If they were public, they probably had a heck of a lot of time to fix it because there's all these policies and slow moving crap. If it was private, I bet it was
Well, everything is
possibly
keyed off
disruptive.
that
Or
social
maybe the
security
private
number.
ones. Maybe the private ones wouldn't have had the problem in the first place. So,
I would
yeah,
think that everything is keyed off that social security number, which identifies that user. And so, how much how much of a ripple effect did it cause for them to change that structure?
yeah, I don't
And
know.
maybe it would be
Maybe they
less
didn't.
change if they used an interface that was generic about the ID or the identity. I don't know. I'm just
Well, yeah, but they would only need to make sure that the ID types match up, and you can have secondary keys. So I guess if I was thinking through how I would handle that particular instance, um, I mean, I would probably have created a social security number, a compatible ID, put it in a separate column, populated it for everyone, then had a series where both keys would work for a while, then make sure everybody started to use just their new key. Then I would shut off the ability to use the social. Then I would delete the social from the database, and I'd be where I'm at. Just that I'd have to rewrite some names and code from Social Security to new student ID or something like that. In which case, I guess I never would have any problems with the interface or the tests, other than the fact that it would be painful to not painful, but renaming tests are annoying. It's one of the things I hate about tests is the maintenance of it.
I hate the fact that I can't just use normal sentences or a normal sentence for a test name in C sharp.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
have that problem in F sharp.
yeah. Well, you can do that with F sharp. SQL even allows you to
It
do that.
annoys me. I replace spaces with underscores, and it just looks so silly.
Yeah,
But it's normal.
I've thought about writing like a transpiler for C sharp just to make it so that I can write things in a different way and then just transpile it. Like, and then maybe it'd be good to have like a transpiled back out. Like you could write a source generator, write your test in one language, write a source generator that converts it to a test into like an MS build, writes it in the C sharp format. And then if you ever did want the C sharp code, say, oh, here it is, generate it and store it off.
Mm.
I don't know.
I finally downloaded Beach Delivery onto my new phone. That's like 3 months old. It looks. I think it looks nice.
I just thought the UI looked pretty good.
I I've been thinking about, do I put up $10,000 or $20,000 for someone to build out the DevOps story for it because I'm not going to be able to do it until I get fired, and it's still a learning curve for me. So do I just create a project or put up a project and they get $10,000 or $20,000 for building that part out? If I manually like type within the Azure portal all the resources that are needed and then do whatever mapping depending on the runtime. Um, it'll, yeah, I just feel like it'll be very maintenance. I feel like it'll be a maintenance nightmare versus me just having all that stuff automated and spun up. I just gotta pay my taxes first and then revisit if I want to
Yeah,
pay
there's
someone.
like, man, this stuff should be a lot simpler to do.
Oh
Like,
God,
I don't
we
understand because it's literally like resource building, right? It's like it shouldn't be like you shouldn't have to write big configuration files and like there should be a
it
way
should
to
be a
just
clone and swapping some
like
names, and that's
wizards
it.
and shit, like, and then this should be all structured and have like a really nice application around it with really clear like consequences and information about the options that you're given rather than trying to like store everything as code. I mean, it could be stored code behind the scenes, right? But like this should be a nice like why does this have to be complicated? I swear it's just to make people like feel like they're important. I don't know.
You guys have a
Freaking
at your organization. Do you guys have DevOps in which they're not developers. They're literally like sysadmins that are somewhat of a bottleneck for even within the dev environment. A developer can't just spin something up in order to do a proof of concept and iterate on it. It has to be literally done by a dedicated sysadmin, which has to be put on a board, go through the ceremony of approved, and then like 3 weeks later, uh, that one resource gets created.
yeah, that describes the organization I'm in. I'm not saying that I don't want to say that they're we're all they do value. Okay, I take issue with the way that's organized, not with anybody on that team and how they operate within the charter they're given. Because I mean, they do a good job considering what like the structure is just wrong, right? If you're gonna have like a DevOps type team, it should be a platform engineering team, and their job should be to make developer tools that make it extremely easy for you to get from A to B. Not do B, but actually automate. Don't give me the fish, teach me to fish, kind of a thing.
Yeah. Like my
And
thought process is like, let the dev environment be the dev environment, and then you make the decision, sysadmin, um, if it could be promoted to a higher environment. I understand that there's maybe concerns about the cost of developers running the asylum within their environment, and maybe there could be some constraints or some alerting that occurs, so that things don't get too bad.
yeah,
But man, relying on
we were set up with a like an AWS sandbox where we can go and I mean, price is a concern, and it's just kind of like, but every developer is kind of trusted to, hey, if you need to spin something up, here's the rules, and think about price, and if you think it's going to cost a lot, ask first because it's not necessarily a no. If it costs a lot, it might just be a you really need to kind of let us understand so we don't get sticker shock up front. But I think that that's the case. Even I want to say for all stuff. But the thing is that we shouldn't have the pricing to spin up a like minimal instance of a service is so like
minuscule.
insignificant compared to what you could get in terms of speed. So it's like what all I ever desire right now is the ability to literally when I finish up a repo, run some utility that says here's the Docker file location that you build, and here's the npm folder that you might build for like a front end type thing, and have the ability to just configure 2 bits of information and then maybe some other configuration about what the naming I want for it to be, and then just click go, and it creates the pipelines and deployments for everything up to a certain environment, like let's say staging. And then I don't have to, and then I have the ability to shut that down if I decide that it was a bad idea too. But like that would be similar. Anything beyond that, if you're trying to provision like a expensive Elasticsearch cluster or something, I get that. Or like trying to use maybe, I don't know, cognitive services, are those expensive? Maybe. But yeah, I don't otherwise see why there's that tight grip around it. I really like the idea of a platform engineering team that is responsible purely for making tools to help application developers get their shit out the door quick. That's what I want, is somebody working for me to take this problem and automate it away.
Yeah. New topic. I'm gonna start a new YouTube channel, and it's gonna be a moto vlog.
A
I
what?
ordered a moto vlog.
Moto vlog? Oh, like a motorcycle blog. Okay.
Yeah. So I ordered my GoPro 11 and my GoPro 11 audio adapter or whatever you call that thing yesterday. I still got to figure out how to strap on a microphone inside my helmet. And what I'm considering is if I could have a business, if I could have a separate business that is also part of my lifestyle, that is also an expensive hobby, then in theory, I don't pay as much taxes on that, right? So let's say, I don't know, I buy a $50,000 motorcycle in April, right? Um, in theory, I can make that a business expense if if I have a stream of income that I have to pay taxes on if I do get viewers. Um, and the more exotic the bike is, I think my personality is pretty interesting. If I if I could like start getting viewers, then in theory that $50,000 motorcycle could be rolled off. The fuel could be rolled off. I already write off my equipment. I use a business card for that. In regards to camera and all that other stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I'll write off the software. But I'm thinking that I could fund my hobby as a business. Again, I'm not saying that. For all I know, this YouTube channel can have one viewer, which is gambler, or one subscriber that's a gambler, and like nothing happens. But no, I think motorcycling is way. I think it's mainstream. Programming isn't, right? And I would actually put effort. I would probably have like on payroll an editor to create thumbnails and to lay um, music tracks and all that stuff and try it out probably for like 3 months to see if it gets traction.
Yeah. So would you be doing like?
With this exotic bike, I mean, I'm probably going to be like maybe one out of maybe, well, I am in Miami. So I'll probably be like one out of 5 people in Miami with this bike. But I'm pretty confident that there's not going to be too many people doing moto vlogs on this really expensive fast bike. In addition to the bike that I already have, that's also somewhat exotic.
Hmm.
And it would be a blend of the motorcycle and the lifestyle of Miami that people in Hicktown, USA would just tune into. That's what I've been considering.
Do it. Do it, man. You get a following, man. You can make a lot of money on YouTube. Still,
I
it's
know. The
a
only
grind, but it's, yeah, you can do it.
the biggest thing I'm concerned about is getting into police chases. And I know that I get a lot of views if I publish it, but also open myself up to them kicking in my door and catching a felony.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I'm like, Oh my God, I don't know if I capture it, right? I could capture this lifestyle down here and upload it, but then like freaking authorities gonna be tracking down the IP address of the upload, find my crib, kick down my door, put me in front of a jury. I don't know. That is literally the only part that I'm hesitant about is catching a felony based on this YouTube channel.
Yeah. Well, you could always just commit to doing everything legally and then just discuss it or show other people's instances of it.
Dude,
It's like real crime then, man. It's like,
when you're
look at this
doing
guy.
when you're doing past 150 miles an hour, like you can't stop. You don't pull over. You you can't.
Yeah, just don't go 150 miles an hour. Not
I
when you're
won't
recording, anyways.
I won't do that by myself. But when I'm riding with a pack, what? I'm just gonna go home. I'm just gonna
Just don't show that
no.
part of it.
It it used to be like we get into a police chase and I'm on a trike. I'm on a three wheeler and I'm like I'm not gonna win. So I just stop and I just go home and I just let the police cars keep going and following the pack. But if I'm on the fastest bike in the pack, that's that. Like I'm out. Like, so anyway, that's the part that I'm hesitant about because you know how many people will get in trouble for posting incriminating evidence of themselves.
Well, yeah, too. Not just of yourself, though.
What's up?
Not just of yourself, though, right? It's also of all the license plates you might catch with your GoPro.
No, they don't have license plates.
Oh, they don't? Okay. Well,
No,
then you're good.
they yeah. When we have Sunday Fun Day, like they take them off or they fold them up.
Hmm. Interesting.
Should get a motorcycle, man, and then we can run away from the police and then post it on YouTube, and then they'll kick in your door in Minnesota. They kick in my door in Miami.
No, no, man. I don't think that. I'm I'm probably one of the like, well, most follow the rule type people that you'd ever meet in terms of law and stuff goes. So I wouldn't be chasing, speeding down with bikes. I rarely do it
Th-
with cars. Speed
This
doesn't
is
go
my
fast.
YouTube name. Please don't repeat this. I'm typing in a private chat. There you go. That's the channel that I'm going to create.
Nimrod rides? What?
Oh yeah, yep. Ah, man, I told you not to say it. But
Yeah, see, you gotta get enough followers and then start your own motorcycle gear line, with that branding on it, and then sell the merch and then make it really nice, like merchandise that you would want to buy.
yeah, I'm not interested in that part. I just want to fund an expensive hobby and not pay taxes on it.
Well, you could probably fund a real expensive hobby 10 times over if you had your own, you know, equipment line or gear line or whatever. I don't know what you call it.
Are there any examples of YouTube personalities that have implemented what you're suggesting?
I'm not sure. I know that John Samas had his own T-shirt once, but
I
see, I
bought
don't know
one.
that this would be a. Yeah, I don't know if this that you would, because that's more of like a brand T-shirt rather than like a brand of T-shirt.
Well, you know the business model for moto vloggers is they create a Patreon account, and then for every Patreon member, they basically give away a bike that kind of like as a raffle for their Patreon members. So they're
Hmm.
collecting $5 probably per member, and I don't know how many people literally pay them a monthly subscription each month, but these people have like a million plus viewers. So I would think that maybe it's hard to justify. Like, how do you give away a $30,000 bike? I would think that you would have to at least be making 10,000 a month just off of your Patreon to give away. Yeah. Anyways, that's a business model. That's what they do. I'm not going to do that. I just want to see if I can get viewers, if people like my personality, and this uh, if this gimmick that I'm considering creating, which is a combination of motorcycling, is in addition to the lifestyle of the upper middle class in South Beach, if people will subscribe to that,
You've
I'll
seen
give it
multiple
90 days.
your YouTube video just needs multiple $1 million views or 1 million views, so you
I
can
would
get like,
need. I mean, the police chases would go viral, I think, but then that would
and you'd be
that would
in jail.
require me to get an Instagram account, in which I'm anti-Instagram. I have an Instagram for my business, beach delivery, which I can't get over the finish line. I don't want to. I don't want to maintain a Instagram personality. I don't want to do that. That
Well,
goes
don't
against.
just be a YouTube guy then. Go
Yeah,
all in
but
on YouTube. Maybe TikToks.
if if it's demonstrated that it has the potential to be a viable stream of income, then I would basically put someone on payroll to manage the what do you
Yeah,
call it? What do you call it?
social media manager.
The marketing of it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You never considered a YouTube channel
Oh yeah, yeah. I
or
just have
anything that you're highly interested in?
it's a thing I'm not interested in much other than coding. Maybe occasional games.
I'm done with coding.
Yeah,
I mean, you probably picked up on that. Like, I'm not as gun ho now as I was maybe even 4 years ago.
yeah. I mean, I'd go hard on this channel if that's what you want to do. I mean, seem kind of interested in it, so do it. Like I said, I would position yourself with that branding as a something you could put on things later if you do get a following, because then you could be talking like mega
Well,
bucks.
yeah, I mean, the decals, the custom motorcycle seat. I know
Hmm.
you weren't talking about that. You were talking about like clothing lines
Yeah,
or
well, yeah, all the
yeah.
accessories and clothing is just part of it. Yeah.
We'll see. Well,
Then I could order a nice like you could get what do you wear, leather jackets? You could get a nice leather jacket with a logo on it. You got to design the logo to be good though.
I'll combine everything. It'll be called Beach Delivery. That would be my YouTube name. And the $50,000 Ducati bike, it will have beach delivery decals. The seat will have beach delivery, and then everything will be beach delivery. And I cross pollinate.
You should just be doing
And
beach
then
deliveries
people
on
will
your act as a courier on your bike.
strap a trailer. Do people even put trailers on motorcycles? Two wheelers? That's like unsafe, right?
I don't know. I mean, I've seen them on trikes for sure, but now I'm gonna
Yeah,
look it up.
that reminds me. My trike has been in the dealership for like 3 weeks now.
Motorcycle trailers. No, I want to see ones that pull trailers.
I think I'm gonna go to Fort
You can do a
Lauderdale after this
sidecar,
one.
right? Can't you? Can you do a sidecar on one of those?
I saw someone motorcycling yesterday, and I couldn't keep up with him. He had his pug strapped on inside his backpack. I used to put my dog on my trike, but I never had a dog strapped on to me.
Yeah, there are trailers you can connect up to your bike
Two wheelers or three?
too.
Oh,
You could even there's even camper trailers, but all of the ones are they're not really crotch rockets as we call them. Or,
hey, Gamlor, you ride motorcycles? I was telling Sean that I'm preparing to start a moto vlog, and yeah, Sean's trying to tell me that I should get a clothing line and all that stuff.
When the time comes, just make sure your branding is on point.
Uh, let's entertain that. Let's say, which I honestly don't think I'm going to do, right? Let's say that at how many subscribers do you think that I should consider your idea of accessorizing?
I have no idea. I'm guessing how active the fans are and stuff, and whether you'd have people asking for it, or you just start it, and after you get so many, and then just start showing off the stuff that you have, and then people will ask for it. Oh man, I like that. I wanna
Uh,
support you. Can I buy your shit? And then
the only thing that I've been interested in that I see on YouTube channels when they exist is when I want to acquire a certain skill or learn how to do something that's fairly complicated and it's too much research to figure out how to put the different pieces together. If they have a link for some type of kit that they bundle together and they sell, I would buy that. Like for this whole motovlogging thing, I would just buy a kit for motovlogging instead of trying to figure out who are the domain experts for action cameras, who are the domain experts for microphones, who are the domain experts for XYZ, and then trying to figure out how to piece all that stuff together without wasting money. Like I could see there being like money in being the technical authority on this type of solution and then selling your kits so that people don't have to figure out things on their own. But I'm not sure that relates to this motorcycle vlog.
I wonder if you can set up. I was gonna say if you do that and you wanted to have a kit type thing. I wonder if you could do that with Amazon. Um, just do the Amazon, yeah, because you still have to let people know that there's paid promotion or whatever. But if you had a Amazon link, you could make money off of that. Just here's all the things I bought. Click this link and they'll add them to your cart.
Yeah, maybe I could have Scott Nimrod action figures, and I could sell that on Amazon. Or the little thing you stick on your dashboard and the head
Scott
wobbles.
Nimrod bobblehead. There you go.
uh,
Your great Nimrod rides branding. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Gambler has no motorcycle. What
I
do
don't
they
either.
do? What do they do in Switzerland? They ski? No, no.
They clearly make watches and chocolate all day. That's what they do. It's kind of like the North Pole.
And knives.
Oh, what?
Swiss Army knife? No,
Oh yeah, knives. That's right.
he skis. Do you strap on? Do you record your skiing ventures? You have a GoPro strapped onto you? I can't believe he faithfully subscribes to my live streams. He is the only person. No, I'm a total casual skier. Have you skied before, Sean?
Not since like seventh grade. We went to the local hill. Did Wouldn't call it a huge ski. I've never skied anything more than the small hill that we have here.
Oh, but you ice fish.
Yeah, I occasionally ice fish. Yeah,
Let me YouTube ice fishing. Let me
dude,
see.
you want to see? There's tons of content out there.
You actually search for that?
Oh yeah, I mean, you get into like it's a whole subculture. You get into how to fish and the different kinds of fishing and the different lures and what to use and sort of like that. And then there's a whole equipment lines like how to use your markers and then tricking your trap and because they have these like small like fish house things and then they go up to larger fish houses and it's there's a lot on fishing.
There was a video posted 14 hours ago. First ice fishing for monster walleyes, underwater footage. And he's carrying like a 30-pound, 40-pound fish.
Yeah, no, there's also fishing if you get into it. There's a lot of money to be made, and it's a
Why does everything
very,
say walleye? Or walleye is like the fish for ice fishing?
they're kind of the trophy. Yeah, the kind of the trophy fish for ice fishing.
Everything, every result in here under ice fishing says walleye, or
Hmm.
most of them.
Yeah,
Okay,
walleye and
there's a
sauger and
panfish, and then walleye, walleye, walleye.
yeah, walleye's the king. That's what you go to the big lakes for, and you go deep fishing and try to pull up a huge one that you can mount actually.
So not
29 inches or higher or whatever it is.
that's what she said. Hey, so like
They're also good eating. So
2 nights ago, not this past night, but the night before. Has this happened to you before? Where have you ever had a deep dream where you were playing League of Legends and it was stressful? I
yeah, I
was
think
playing
so.
Halo Wars 2 nights ago in my dream, and I couldn't tell that I was dreaming. Like it was a serious game, and I don't know why, because I haven't played Halo Wars, like really played it in like probably more than a dozen years. But I was in a deep sleep, and I'm trying to manage my resources, my supplies. I'm trying to fight on 2 different fronts on the enemy base, and I'm trying to defend at the same time. I have no clue why my mind went there, but I couldn't tell that I was dreaming. That's how
Yeah, I don't
serious it
know.
was.
Dreams are weird.
What do you
Yeah,
call
I've
it?
had
Lucid.
all sorts of
You had dreams
dreams.
about you literally playing video games.
Yeah, I've had that before. Um, the most recent one I remember was that this was this was one I had the other day was my I had a dream that I was working kind of with my brother-in-law's store, but it was slightly different, bigger, and I was dealing with like a customer on the phone, and they were looking at his website, and his website had these kind of racy anime pictures on it, and just things that were really offensive to this lady. And I'm like, oh yeah, we probably shouldn't have that because we have kids in here and stuff like that. So I was trying to get my brother-in-law to take them down, but he wouldn't take them down, and I got frustrated with it. So I went and I hacked his WordPress site, and his password was just admin. So I'm just like admin. Poof, I'm in. And I was taking it down, and then I don't know, it was weird. Um, I have occasional dreams where I'm fictitiously working at his store for some reason, along with a bunch of other repeater type dreams.
When
But
was the last time you had a dream that you weren't gonna uh, pass, or that you weren't gonna graduate from the
oh
university?
gosh, yeah, I can't, it's been a while, but
I
I've
had
had
a.
those
I
dreams.
think I probably had one like maybe like 4 months ago.
Yeah, like I forgot that I haven't gone to English class for
Yep.
like
Mine is a physics lab.
that is it. I'm like, oh
I'm
gosh,
like, damn it, I missed a
is this
lab.
guy
Oh
is this guy
god.
gonna is he gonna give me a B or a C or something? Like I haven't been to his class in like 6 months. It's like,
Yeah,
and
that's the other one. Like
I want to go
there's
back and make sure I graduate.
the other
Yeah.
one is there is a class that I forgot about, and I can't, and I don't have my schedule that
Oh
has
yeah, yeah.
the
That
location,
one.
and I can't figure out how to get to that class.
Yeah, and so then you have to go to try to look it up on the computer, but you can't remember any of your passwords or anything.
I've
Yeah.
had that dream
Oh God.
recently.
Yeah.
Is that a form of PTSD? Like
I
when it's
don't
so
know.
stressful?
I
Because
don't know.
if you have like if you have sweaty dreams like that like twice a year, and it's like more than a decade.
Yeah, I get it too because I'll go and I'll also have dreams where I go back and work at Hardee's where I worked for a while. I've never had dreams where I've worked at like Walmart where I used to work. I can't remember a dream where well, maybe I have had ones. Actually, you know what? I might have just had one the other night. Never mind. I'm totally wrong about that. Maybe it's just like you visit
You were
like past
grading at
places.
Walmart in your sleep.
No, gosh, I've had times where I've worked in the automotive section, but I'm like the only one working, and there's too much work to do, and yeah. But I've had plenty where I've been back at like Hardee's, or I've been back at a former job in general, like back at the first place I worked out of college, for instance. Like I'll like have dreams that I go back for like a third time or something like that. But then I have like all these enemies that are trying to get me, and I'm just
That
trying
still
to
work
keep a
there?
low profile. Yeah, that's how it like my dream is coming across. They're not my enemies, obviously, but like just people and what the differences would be going back. So I don't know. It's just maybe the mind trying to like think about what ifs and running through different scenarios, disaster recovery scenarios. I have no idea why we dream these things, but it is interesting that people have similar type dreams like that.
I'm not on Twitter or I don't look at Twitter feeds that much, but it looks like I'm not really missing out on anything.
Yeah, there's not a lot going on right now.
Did everybody
We're
get shadow banned and that's why?
No, we're still in the kick where most of the tech devs have kind of like tried to go to Mastodon first browsing. So not all of them, but it's a lot of them. So it hasn't been a lot. I signed up for Truth Social yesterday just to see what it is like, because I saw it randomly like advertised somewhere or something. So I'm like, hey, you know what? I wonder what that's like. I like their color schemes. I don't like
Uh,
the fact that
I,
retweeting is called retruthing. That's funny as hell, though.
I think I tried to go to Rumble and there was a bug and I'm like, F that, I'm not coming back here.
Donald
And I
Trump
only visit
retruth this.
I only visited Rumble because of Andrew Tate said he was on there. I'm like, let me check it out, but I couldn't log in. I couldn't create an account. So
Yeah, but I do like their color scheme a lot better than Twitter's actually. But
you said Mastodon?
oh, Mastodon is where a lot of people have gone.
Mastod how you spell Mastodon?
Mastodon, but I think it's actually like a distributor, like you pick servers or something. I don't really know much about it.
What do you think about? I think I asked you this last time. You know what? I hate thumbnails where women will basically wear a bikini and do something so unrelated.
Just to
Like,
get
dude,
clickbait type stuff.
alone in my off-grid paradise ice fishing, and she's like, I'll send you the link. I'll refuse to click on the link, but I'll right-click and say copy link address, and I'll put it.
Well, now I
In,
won't see what the actual ad is. I'll just see what the link goes to. Right.
I don't know. It's just I see it a lot.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what the grid or thing is like, but
Did you see the thumbnail
for the actual video, no.
where like
Oh, I'd have to probably go out to her
her
channel.
her butt cheeks, her entire leg with butt cheeks are showing, and she's sitting on like snow in front of a
Oh,
ice hole.
okay, yeah, all right.
3.2 million views. Yeah, that's how many people are interested in ice fishing. F out of here.
That's not exactly ice fishing, but I could understand that. Seeing that along the way, I guess wouldn't be.
No, it reminds me of the Twitch and the hot tub, like all the hot tub girls that they literally like sit in a hot tub, talk about nothing, and then they get a donation, and then they oh thank you, and like they just make hella money talking about absolutely nothing in a hot tub, and people in Hicktown, USA, like just send them $5 and $10. Oh, I'm so disappointed in humanity. I'm done hating.
Here's a. Hold on. Yeah, look up trick your trap ice fishing. Sometimes you see a whole subculture you didn't know exists.
No, F that. She has 3.2 million views for ice fishing. Like,
I
do you know
don't
how
think
much
it's
money
for
she's
ice fishing.
made off of that one video? Because she wears almost nothing on her thumbnail as she sits on snow.
Hmm.
Maybe I should try that. Maybe I should stop hating. Maybe I should like just wear a thong or a G-string on my motorcycle and motovlog
That's why you
and
should
have
make
the
an only.
360 camera and it just shows my butt cheeks on the saddle as I'm riding down South Beach.
It's your OnlyFans moto blog. There you go. I don't know. Is
Thankfully, I
that
haven't.
behind a paywall so that you
I,
wouldn't get?
I honestly, I haven't visited that site. There's a lot of sites I have visited. That hasn't been one of them. I
Yeah.
refuse. I refuse. So.
Hmm. All right. I probably should get some more coffee before I stand up. I got to work today.
Oh,
So
really? All right,
yeah,
we'll
it's.
catch up.
I mean, I could have taken it off, but it's technically we work around retail, so it's one of those days.
Thanks for hanging out.
Yep.
See ya.
All right. See ya.
Bye. Hey, see you, gambler. You caught me hating on people. Sometimes I just get angry. But we'll catch up. Thanks for tuning in. Adios.